Hi friends, I'm excited to share a new layout with you today for the Shimmerz Paints design team. I am using the June Color Kitz and I could not love them more. I absolutely adore everything about these kits, so I'm excited to share the layout that I made with you. I started with a piece of mixed media white cardstock and a stencil that I had in my stash that reminds me of mermaid scales or fish scales, but mermaid scales. And so I took some texture paste from my stash and went ahead and added that on. And then I set it off to dry actually overnight. So it had lots of good time to get nice and dry before I add lots of paints to it. So then I pulled out a bunch of things from the ephemera set in the June Color Kitz and cut off all of the white borders off of all of the things that I decided to use. And then I also prepared a cut file. There is actually a mermaid tail cut file in the June Color Kitz, but I did not realize that when I went ahead and made this cut file. So I actually just had a cut file in my in my Cricut design software, and it was a whole mermaid, and I just cut off part of the mermaid and used just the tail. So I am coating this mermaid tail in the Shimmerz Stay Golden, and I have to tell you, so this is a new color this month, this Stay Golden color, and it is like shimmer totally jacked up. So it is like off the chain gold shimmer. I cannot even tell you enough about how beautiful this is. Like in real life, it shimmers like I don't even know, like a diamond would, except it's gold. It is absolutely gorgeous. So every time I put more on there, it just, like, you could even see the shimmer and shine kind of like soaking, like settling on the page. It was just absolutely gorgeous. So it's a thicker Shimmerz Paints, and I don't even know what to say about it. I love it so much. So that's going to definitely be added to my list of favorites for sure. So that is one that you want to have your hands on. If you do not order the color kits, I would recommend the Shimmerz Stay Golden if you like gold. And I could imagine lots of different things to use this paint for, but I actually really loved this because it's going to help this mermaid tail really stand out on the layout because it's so sparkly and beautiful when it dries, and I loved everything about it. So I just cut the cut file, added some paint on, and then I ended up, because the paint was pretty thick, I ended up pulling that cut file off of the mat because I didn't want it to like glue itself to the pieces that I cut out. So I went ahead and lifted it up and painted it, trimmed some more white edges, and then this is the next day. So everything is good and dry. The mermaid tail is dry and the background was dry. And I traced where I figured I would put my pictures, and then I started adding paints to the background. So the first color that I'm adding is from the Color Kitz. It's a Spritz Walking on a Tight Heliotrope is the name of it. I always think the names are super clever and funny. So it is a dark, rich, beautiful purple. And if you are into mermaid things, this collection of colors is definitely so gorgeous. And then the next color I'm using is actually one of my favorite colors ever, the Vibes Jenny B Blue. It is so gorgeous and like I'm a big turquoise fan, so I love everything about it. And then this pink color is actually from my stash. So this is the only paint that was not in the Color Kitz, and you don't need it to make a beautiful mermaid layout, but I had to add it because in the pictures that I'm using, I am scrapping my daughter's first grade book character parade. And she was a mermaid for the book character parade from one of her favorite mermaid books. And her hair is like a bright pink. So I needed pink tied in so that the photos made sense with the colors that I was using. So I went back and I am going to, on top of the purple, I am going to add the Shimmerz Lilac Blossom. So that is from the Color Kitz. And it is a much more subtle and softer purple and super shiny and shimmery. So that is going to look really pretty on top of that, the Spritz Walking on a Tight Heliotrope. And then for the turquoise section, this Shimmerz, I don't even know what to say about it, except that it's one of the prettiest colors I've ever seen in my whole life. So the Shimmerz Peacock's Plume is the darker shade of turquoise that I'm going to add right now. And it is like, I don't even know what to say about it. It's so beautiful. Like, I want it on a wall somewhere. I love this color. And I'm going to have to, on my next layout for the June, with the June Color Kitz, I'm going to have to do something that's like solid this color, because it is so gorgeous. On here, on this layout, you're just going to kind of see it blended in with the Jenny B blue, and then it is this more sparkly part of that turquoise section of color. So I don't know. I can't say enough about the colors in the Color Kitz this month, because they are just so pretty and shimmery and shiny, and they just shout ocean layout to me. So it was really fun to create with those. And then what I ended up doing is I needed the color to sort of drip down the page a little bit more, because I decided that I wanted the color kind of poking out of the bottom of the photos and the embellishments that I'm going to end up putting at the bottom of the page. And so I went ahead and expanded my color down the page. So I do have the texture paste up at the top still in that white section, and it's going to just be white on white. And then you can definitely see, as the color kind of drips down and blends into the background, you can start seeing that texture paste kind of bleed through, and it gives a lot of really good dimension to the layout. And then it also helps all of those shimmery colors really shine as it's, folding in over the edges of the texture paste. So very, very pretty how the color works with that. And then here I'm just kind of going back and adding splatters of each color. And I wanted the colors to kind of, not necessarily blend, but I wanted them to kind of fold into each other. And so I did go back and add splatters, like purple splatters in the pink section and turquoise splatters in the purple section and also the pink section. So I kind of went back and overlapped those colors a little bit. And then, of course, I'm adding some more of the Shimmerz Stay Golden, because it's just too pretty not to add some more of it. I will say it does not splatter well because it's so thick on the paintbrush. I guess you could water it down if you wanted to, but don't do that because it's so pretty the way it is. But you could, I guess, if you wanted to, but it did not splatter. So I just added kind of like little dots, little piles of the color around the layout, and it's just super pretty. So okay, and then this is patterned papers. I'm going to be using patterned papers from the June Color Kitz. Also, they are vivid and beautiful, the same colors and tones as the paints. And so my photos, I have one of just my daughter in her mermaid costume that is literally the exact same as the mermaid in the book. Like, we went through every page in the book to make sure that we had the costume just right. She told me all of the details that she wanted included in her costume, and I went on a hunt to make sure I had all of the details captured in her costume. So right down to the gold crown on top of the pink wig. And so really this fishtail that is super gold and beautiful really speaks to the photo having that really gold and beautiful crown in her hair. So all of it goes really well together. And then her hair is pink and her costume was purple and turquoise. And so really all of it went really well together. And then I pulled out the patterned papers that match those colors in the Color Kitz. And so I alternated, like the photo that's of just her, I backed with purple and then added a turquoise layer, distressed the edges of both of those. And then with the picture with her teacher, I did first turquoise and then purple. So I just kind of alternated those back and forth and distressed the edges. And then the mermaid tail is going to go straight in the middle, the gold one. And then I have another little mermaid tail that I had trimmed off the white edges from the ephemera set, and that's going to be kind of layered on top of it, kind of going the other direction. And then that mermaid life title was also from the ephemera set, and it had a little bit thicker purple border, and I just kind of trimmed the purple border a little bit. So I still wanted it to be purple and white, but I didn't want it to be super thick and big, and so I trimmed it down just a touch. And then that little tab, I added the date to, and I wrote it first in black and then wrote over it on top of it with a gold metallic Sharpie. And then my journaling block was from the ephemera set. I added my own lines to it, and then I alternated the writing on it, I used the turquoise, purple, and pink, and kind of alternated each line that I wrote with the ink colors, so that it all kind of, it's all telling a story for sure. And then I added some tangled thread underneath there. And now I'm going to start building the clusters on either side of that journaling. So I have lots of beautiful pieces of ephemera that I had pulled out from the June Color Kitz. So there are some beautiful hibiscus flowers in turquoise and purple, and then like shells and different types of seaweeds that are bright and beautiful, a starfish, I think, and a few shells. So lots of different elements in there to create a beautiful ocean layout. Of course, my layout has nothing to do with the ocean. We do live, you know, only about an hour away from the ocean, or 45 minutes, I guess. But we're not at the ocean in these photos. It's just the mermaid day or the book character parade day at school. But all of those ocean things definitely speak to the book that she was dressed as. And when she saw this layout after I was finished with it, Ruby was like, "Mom, it looks like a whole mermaid world." And I was like, okay, that is exactly what I wanted to hear. I mean, I couldn't have asked for a better response. So she loved this layout when I got finished with it. So I am just layering the pieces of ephemera around. That's a beautiful turquoise shell. And then I have another shell on the other side that looks like it has a pearl in it, more like a clam shell that's open. And then there was another little word that was in the ephemera set. So it says fun in cursive, and it was purple bordered in turquoise. So I'm going to be using that. And then, of course, some hearts, because I love these pictures so much, and I love the picture with her sweet teacher. And then I used the, can't think of what they're called right now, the dots from the Color Kitz. So those are like enamel dots. And I used one of those, and it was very similar to the texture paste stencil that I added on the background. It had the mermaid scales on it, so I tucked that in. And then now I am using the sequin set from the Bonus Blings. Oh my gosh. Talk about beautiful. It's got little gold, almost like foam, little gold circles that I was able to add, and kind of, I actually pushed them down just a little bit to flatten them out a touch so that they were easier to glue. And then I added a whole bunch of different sequins. There were shell sequins in there and all different kinds of beautiful things. I absolutely loved picking those out and adding them in and around the clusters. And then I used, of course, pops of color in all the colors that I have on the layout, and there it is. That is the finished layout, and you can really see in these close-ups, you can really see the gold shimmer. And then all the different layers. I love everything in the kits this month, so I hope that you have ordered these and get your hands on them. Remember, if you place an order with Shimmerz Paints, you can put my name, Sarah Millerhouse, in the comment section and get a free paint, which is always super fun to get something free and let you try out something new. I hope you guys have a beautiful day and find time to create. Bye.